it's like to be in a room with 500 top doctors and research scientists and bring up the conversation about homeopathy, and there's curiosity and they ask more questions and there's like openness. I mean, this is so exciting. I have never been so excited to be a homeopath. WHO actually did a research study a number of years ago that you're probably aware of. Homeopathy is the second most commonly used alternative medicine in the world, only second to herbal medicine. We are a big group of people. We are not a small voice. And it's really important for the medical system to see that we have a voice, we have a big network of users, and it's time that they took us seriously and gave us a place at the table. I think the most important thing people can do is...
Today's guest is the stunning and vivacious Gabrielle Traub, who also featured on episode 159 of the podcast. And there you can listen to her story of how she was introduced to homeopathy. Today, we are going to be talking about some of the incredibly exciting work that she is doing with MAHA. But before I get into that, I'm just going to read her bio off to you because it is pretty impressive. So Gabrielle is a board-certified classical homeopath and international best-selling author. She did a 5-year homeopathic medical degree in South Africa and later conducted double-blind randomized controlled trials investigating homeopathic treatment for ADHD and anxiety. She is the author of Live Right for Your Remedy Type, a homeopathic lifestyle guide emphasizing the critical role of individualized health and prevention. She has taught and lectured internationally, including England, South Africa, Pakistan, Dubai, Israel, Australia, and across the United States. Her clinical focus includes women's health, where she spent over a decade working within a conventional OB-GYN practice, alongside a traditional obstetrician and fertility endocrinologist. During this time, she observed a marked rise in infertility and gynecological disorders, which led her to co-author the book Infertility, Secrets, Struggles, and Successes, and developed what is considered one of the most comprehensive courses on homeopathic treatment of obstetrics and gynecology. Her broader clinical experience also includes serving on a core treatment team at an inpatient center specializing in addiction, PTSD, chronic pain, and eating disorders. Gabrielle is also featured in the documentary Introducing Homeopathy, where her patients share their transformative healing journeys. She is the founder of World Homeopathy Awareness Week, which we are celebrating right in this moment, as in today, from the 10th to the 16th of April every year. And by the way, Introducing Homeopathy, the documentary, is available to watch free of charge until the 16th of April. So depending on when you're listening to this episode, if it's still before the 16th of April, go to the Children's Health Defense website and you can watch the Introducing Homeopathy documentary, which Gabrielle features in, free of charge before the 16th of April. Okay, so World Homeopathy Awareness Week is celebrated in 46 countries around the world, and Gabrielle formerly served as the chair of World Homeopathy Awareness Organization and currently serves as the External Affairs Advisor for Americans for Homeopathy Choice. She is also a spokesperson for homeopathy within the MAHA community. So in recent years, Gabrielle has expanded her work into national policy and advocacy. She was invited by the MAHA Institute to speak at a roundtable and has since been invited to participate in 2 additional high-level roundtables. She met with Jay Bhattacharya, who facilitated a meeting with the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health to discuss updating their public statement on homeopathy and to explore research opportunities. Gabrielle will be talking a little bit more about that in today's episode, which is super exciting. Gabrielle also coordinated for Rachel Roberts of the Homeopathic Research Institute to present an overview of homeopathic research to the NCCIH leadership and staff, and also arranged for her to speak at the MAHA Media, which is just absolutely incredible. Now, the fellow chairman of the Homeopathic Research Institute, Dr. Alex Tunier, features on the 10th of April. So if you scroll back like 4 episodes, you can listen to that as well. And Rachel Roberts from the Homeopathic Research Institute has also been a past guest. So Gabrielle also engaged in discussions with Jeffrey Taubenberger regarding the potential role of homeopathy in epidemic settings. So through these efforts, Gabrielle has developed relationships with several leaders within the US Department of Health and Human Services and continues to expand her network among policymakers and influencers. She has helped build meaningful support for the homeopathy bill HR 7050, including support from MAHA Action. She's also scheduled to appear as a guest on The High Wire with Del Bigtree to discuss homeopathy, which is just so exciting. In recent months, Gabrielle has published 2 articles in the MAHA report, which reaches an audience of approximately 200,000 subscribers, as well as 2 additional articles in the Epoch Times. She also coordinated a meeting between MAHA Action leadership and major homeopathic organizations to explore collaboration and alignment. Gabrielle's been invited to numerous high-level salons and MAHA events for changemakers and influencers, including the MAHA Inaugural Ball, the HHS Women's Health Conference, and the exclusive gathering at the NED Club. Now, this is something that seems to be running in her veins, and I have to tell you this cool little side bit of information as well, because Gabrielle actually comes from a distinguished lineage of advocacy and leadership. Her father was a respected attorney and was honored by Nelson Mandela for reforming South African laws to promote greater freedom. And her grandfather served as a long-standing mayor, and her grandmother devoted her life to humanitarian work, so much so that she earned a personal visit and an award from Queen Elizabeth II during her visit to South Africa many years ago. Gabrielle, thank you so much from me and the homeopathic community for everything that you're doing. Thank you for creating World Homeopathy Awareness Week. We wouldn't be here celebrating this today if it wasn't for you. Thank you for all this incredible work that you're doing, all these talks that you're facilitating, the conversations that you're having to help move homeopathy forward. We are so indebted to you. And to our listeners, enjoy this episode. Thanks for listening. Please do check out the show notes. We have got a lot of information there on Homeopathy Awareness Week, on getting in touch with Gabrielle. Please check out the show notes. Okay, enough from me. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout Podcast, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now our mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and welcome back to a very special episode with one of my favorite people on the planet, Gabrielle Traub. Welcome back to the show.
Eugenie, thank you so much for having me on your show. I absolutely love it, and it's wonderful to be here. Such an honor.
Oh, do you know, it was 3 years ago that I had you on the podcast last, because I was checking through and it was episode 159 where we talked about your book, Live Right for Your Remedy Type, and a few other things. But how did that happen? How did 3 years fly by like that? It's incredible, hey?
Wow, that's wild. And you're doing so many shows, Eugenie.
Oh,
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I do it, but you know, speaking of don't know how you do it, we have a lot to talk about what you've been up to, because I literally don't know how you do that. I also, just because this episode is being released during Homeopathy Awareness Week, I just once again want to thank you for creating Homeopathy Awareness Week. So any of our listeners who don't know, Homeopathy Awareness Week's been celebrated for 20 years, and the person who started it is Gabrielle. So on behalf of everyone around the world, thank you very much for this genius initiative where we get to celebrate homeopathy for a whole week. And there's so many places around the world that are doing like daily events during this time. And it's just like this air of excitement happening during Homeopathy Awareness Week. Children's Health Defense, I saw a screening introducing homeopathy free of charge again. And you said the National Center for Homeopathy has got a page on their website where they have a whole bunch of free listings. So thank you for this great initiative.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for all the things that you're doing. You're having like a show every day for World Homeopathy Awareness Week. So the National Center for Homeopathy has actually taken over World Homeopathy Awareness Week, and I'm so excited. So they're the official host, and they have a webpage where they're listing events. And if you are planning any events, or if you just want to attend or observe any events, or you're welcome to go to their website, and the links will be in the notes.
Oh, now I am dying to hear what you've been up to, because every time on social media, I just see another photo of you rubbing shoulders with RFK or hanging out with Dr. Oz or at a MAHA event or some fancy dinner and dressed to the nines and looking gorgeous as always. So what have you been doing?
So I've always been a huge supporter of RFK Jr., especially with all the environmental work that he was doing. And then when I started having my own family and just concerns around, healthcare and vaccines, all the rest, I started to follow it more. But when COVID hit, and nobody knew what was going on. And, everyone's feeling there's something wrong, something fishy in the air. Why are we not, we getting censored for posting about what homeopaths are doing in India, what the Indian government doing is for homeopathy. So I joined this underground network of researchers and doctors. And it was so weird. It was all like underground, but these like very high level frontline doctors and research trying to analyze the literature, looking at the research, looking at the data. And I was very much involved in that group, trying to figure out, what was going on, how can we treat our patients, and how can we help people? And I met a research scientist while I was there, and when eventually RFK Jr. got elected as the secretary, I was invited to actually attend the inaugural ball, which was just an amazing, absolutely wonderful opportunity. And from there, everything started happening. I got invited to speak at the Autism Roundtable, and that's when I really started making connections. And we have so many goals for homeopathy. Homeopathy, as you know, is bipartisan, nonpartisan. We don't affiliate with any political body, but we do have certain agenda that we're trying to get attained. And right now there's been an opening and a listening, and it's just so exciting to be able to make real headway and actually get things done. For example, since then, I've actually been back to 3 roundtables in DC, and I've invited friends along. Kathleen Schiebel, Paula Brown has attended with me. We've been to so many of those MAHA events, and we've met with Jay Bhattacharya, and he was very helpful to get a meeting. Sweetest guy. He's so kind and compassionate. And he was able to get us a meeting. He personally scheduled a meeting for us with the NCCIH. They're part of the NIH, the US government that is involved in complementary and alternative medicine. And our main priorities for meeting with them is there is a very derogatory statement about homeopathy on their website, and we wanted to try to get that amended because it was not congruent with patient experience. So we were able to meet with them. We also got the opportunity to discuss potential homeopathic research and pathways towards that I'm very excited for. And Ron Whitmont, Paula Brown, and I went to the meeting, but we had a lot of support. The Homeopathic Research Institute were just loading us up with, ammunition with all the greatest research. They've been an amazing resource. I feel so bad. I've been emailing them almost every day. Do you have something for this? And they've followed through and really been helpful. In fact, I was able to schedule, so Rachel Roberts, she's the head of Homeopathic Research Institute. She's going to be giving a talk to their whole team on homeopathic research. I was also able to get Rachel Roberts is going to present to the MAHA Action Hub coming up. That will be on the website. She's so brilliant. So amazing, right? And I then was invited to a women's conference that was actually hosted by the HHS. And it's so exciting. So again, nonpartisan organization. This is very much well established within the medical system. The types of conversations we had and integrating patient-centered care and integrating holistic modalities and it's just so exciting. And there's so much openness. Like, do you know what it's like to be in a room with 500 top doctors and research scientists and bring up the conversation about homeopathy, and there's curiosity, and they ask more questions, and there's like openness. I mean, this is so exciting. I have never been so excited to be a homeopath. Like, this is the time. If you are in homeopathy school studying to be a homeopath, this is the time. And I have to say, I mean, at all these MAHA events, I think the least interested comment I received was, well, at least they can take far fewer conventional medications, and that's pretty good for them. That was like the most negative comment. Like, everybody is, oh, I'm so interested, or, oh, I got cured with homeopathy. Even Jay Bhattacharya said, oh, my mom will be so happy. She's been plummeting me to study homeopathy. And the whole time I was in med school, she was going on about homeopathy. So there's just this level of openness. The conversations changed. I was able to talk with Jeffrey Taubenberger. He is the doctor who succeeded Anthony Fauci. I was talking to our new Anthony Fauci about homeopathy and epidemics, and he asked me to email him and send him more information. And it's been a wild ride. I cannot just say enough about how crazy it's been. So what are you feeling?
You're giving me tears and goosebumps and everything all at the same time because, I haven't been a homeopath that long. I graduated 2013, but there's homeopaths who, are in their 70s and 80s, still practicing. And this is what they've always hoped and dreamed for. I know homeopathy had its heyday in the 90s and then went, great. But so many people have been working so hard to get homeopathy recognized. And it just feels like we're right at the brink of it being mainstream, and completely accepted. And it's so wonderful to hear you say this and that, and it can happen. I just recently had Dr. Jean-Lenel Bourgault from France, and he has got this integrative oncology center in France, in Strasbourg. And they have the art therapist, the homeopath, the craniosacral, all of them in one building treating cancer patients together, completely integrative. And it's like, we can all do that. It can be done,
That's how
it's needed now.
Yes.
More than ever before. And the oncologist is there and he says they still give them the chemo drugs, but he uses tautopathy alongside. So he uses the homeopathic remedy made from the actual cancer drug itself alongside to counteract the side effects. It works together beautifully, integratively.
So I don't know if you remember, but I actually worked in a clinic like that. It was actually inpatient. So it was a residential treatment center for eating disorders, chronic pain, PTSD, and addictions. And homeopathy was part of the core treatment. I attended every treatment meeting and I was, we were brainstorming with the psychiatrist, with the medical doctor, with the nurses, what to do with each patient. That's true medicine. That's the level we need to get to.
That's absolutely amazing. It was at the gynecology center because I know that you were there for a while as well. Hey. You've done a few things because I was actually listening. I was listening back on the intro of your episode for episode, I think it's 159, listening to the intro. And then I was listening to all the things that I read out about your bio. And I'm like, holy hell, I've forgotten that you did half this stuff. You've done so much. And that's why I messaged you. I'm like, it's been 3 years since that. You probably need to update your bio because I'm sure you've done a whole bunch of other stuff since then. But you got a pretty bloody impressive bio. It's a resume. It's really impressive what you've done.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, the OB-GYN clinic, I worked at that for over a decade until she retired. Amazing doctor and fertility endocrinologist. That was a different clinic, but yeah, I loved working there. It was amazing. And I think I mentioned this in my podcast to you last, that in that clinic, I was the only kind of woo-woo, weirdo, homeopath, grungy person. But I have to say that every time somebody got sick, like any of the doctors or the staff or their children, guess who the person they would always ask? Oh, do you have something for, this or this? And because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how allopathically you trained. There's this, I can't even describe it. This is innate knowledge, just innate wisdom that we want something natural first. Especially when it comes to our children, if we can find something safe and natural and gentle, that is instinctively our first approach to go, I think, for the majority of people.
Absolutely. Now, hang on. We're not done with all the fun stuff that you've been up to because I know there's more.
Yes.
And tell us more about what you've been up to. And you are also going to be on a very well-known person's podcast. Not me.
Well, I think yours is
well-known yet.
So yes, I got a call from Del Bigtree to be on the High Wire, which is very, very exciting because it's something I've dreamed of doing. Such an honor and a huge responsibility to accurately represent homeopathy. But I'm very excited about that. And I have some other news that I'm not quite privy to share, but there is a lot happening in that world that is going to be very good for homeopathy. We have to talk again soon in the next few months to share. This is going to blow up, honestly. It's so exciting. And then I'm also involved in Kimalia's projects and the homeopathic documentaries that I'm sure you've mentioned on your shows, which is exciting. And I organized a meeting for the head of the MAHA with all of our major homeopathic organizations. That's going to be at the joint annual homeopathic conference the day before the conference. And I can't even attend my own meeting because I'm going to be in Austin, Texas. But I'll be flying out the next day and going to JHC and attending and seeing everybody then.
I mean, how do you even pull this together? So all the major homeopathic organizations in America and then the MAHA heads all coming together. Is this in person?
So partly, there'll
Mm.
be some in person. One key person was supposed to attend in person, and her daughter just had a baby, so she's going to have to attend, just join online on Zoom. But it is an in-person meeting, and with the help of Paula Brown and Americans for Homeopathy Choice and Christine Donka and National Center for Homeopathy, they arranged everything. Last minute, people changed their flights. I mean, they've been amazing. And it's the Homeopathic Alliance Committee, members from that team. So I've had a lot of help, but it's going to be really, really important. And it's mostly meeting with MAHA Action, which is really important because they're the division of MAHA that gets things done politically. So the big thing we're going to be focusing on in the agenda is how to get our new homeopathy bill passed. So that's going to be a main focal point to safeguard access to homeopathic medicines.
That'll be amazing because Paula has mentioned, gave us a little bit of an update. I think Ron, he was on a little while ago on the podcast. I think he might have mentioned something about it as well. But are there any dates of kind of like how long this can take or anything like that, or is this just the main conversation to have and then hopefully help push that
through? So we do have sponsors for the bill. We're hoping to have more sponsors, and it's in the House right now. And this takes time. It's painfully slow, but it's in process. And so one of my friends from MAHA said, what the senators need to know about and what our government needs to know is, yes, there is homeopathic research. He said, publish an article. Yes, there's homeopathic research. So I was able to get an article published in Epoch Times in the MAHA report. But more importantly, I said, well, why publish one article? You know me, Jeannie, I don't do things half-heartedly. I go big or go home. I said, I was speaking to Christina Donka, let's make this the topic for World Homeopathy Awareness Week so that the message is blasted out from 4,600s around the world. Yes, there's homeopathic research. And so we want to try to get the attention from as many politicians and change makers that we can, just to let them know, because we have all this amazing homeopathic research, and yet most people aren't aware about it. And in our meeting with the NCCIH, we're talking about all the randomized controlled trials we have, all of the large-scale trials we have, all the studies we have on homeopathy for pain management, for reduction in use of opiates, all the studies we have on homeopathy for antimicrobial resistance, including antibiotics or antiviral drugs, all this new research that's coming out on homeopathy in agriculture that reduces the needs for herbicides and pesticides. Like all the topical points, we're hitting them with the research. We're saying, yes, we have research for that. Homeopathy for children's health, homeopathy for women's health conditions, for chronic diseases. We're trying to let them know all the issues that they're struggling with. We have solutions, and even help during epidemics. They need to bring homeopathy into the conversation when it comes to solving some of these health problems and improving health outcomes. And I think this is the time for homeopathy, as you were saying before. It's time.
And so many studies proving that it is better than placebo, and lots of animal studies as well. So where, placebo is kind of taken out of the picture. It's actually quite mind-blowing how much amazing research there is out there. And I would also, all the skeptics that you always see on like the social media, who I don't engage with, But, they're like, oh, there's no research for homeopathy. It's like, oh, really? Are we still in this, like the earth is flat? It's like, no, there is plenty of incredible research. So
There's
it's just,
amazing research that we have some really great meta-analyses by MAHA, produced amazing meta-analyses. We have the Swiss study that was conducted by the Swiss government. We have amazing research. If it for some reason it takes, I feel like whenever there's new information or new research or advances in medicine, it takes like 10 to 15 years to catch up.
it does. Yeah, it really
We're
does.
stuck in the same dogma and the same paradigm.
Now, I know you said that you're working all hours of the day and night on all your projects. Is there anything that we as a community can do to help you? I feel like you and Paola and Ron and Kathleen, like, and everyone behind the scenes as well. So I don't want to name names and then miss everyone out because I know, Rachel Roberts, I know everyone is working together. So if I haven't said a name, it's just because I can't think right now. But there's so many people working behind the scenes to help. This is unpaid work for many of them. They're doing it from the goodness of their heart. They're doing it for the greater good of homeopathy and for humanity. But is there something that our listeners or we as a community can do a bit more to help so that you can get some sleep?
Thank you. Thank you. And you're right. I do not get paid for this work. This is a passion project of mine that I'm so passionate about. There's no option. I'm going to do this work because I love it so much, just like how you do your work. But I think the most important thing people can do is during World Homeopathy Awareness Week, if you could post on your social media, if you could like shout out to the rooftops, yes, it's homeopathic research. If you can post, I know you're doing a testimonial project, Eugenie. If people can get involved in the testimonials, if we can all like get up off the couch and be proactive, and there's so much momentum, so much excitement right now. The other thing in the United States, we really need help with this bill. So if you can go to Americans for Homeopathy Choice, sign up for their newsletter so you'll know what to do. They'll give you steps. And yes, just talk to a friend. Tell 5 people you know about homeopathy. I mean, the little things that you do make a huge impact in people's lives. It's this personal contact. So many of you sharing your personal story about homeopathy. This is the way we have impact. For World Homeopathy Awareness Week, one of the reasons why I love it is every country, every organization, every school celebrates World Homeopathy Awareness Week in their special way. Like, for example, in Germany, there's been operas done. In countries, they do like shows with music and dancing. And in Pakistan, they do a lot of relief, clinics for the poor, relief work. So however you feel most called to celebrating World Homeopathy Awareness Week, if you're a shy person, that's okay. But do something in the way that feels good to you, that feels right to do. And even if it means just wearing, a t-shirt, yes, homeopathy works for me. I love the t-shirt you sent to me, or something, just to kind of get the word out there, because it really takes all of us to make a difference.
It really does. Do you know what? One of the most powerful things that I found over the years was to give advice in Facebook groups, mothers' Facebook groups especially, because that's so often when many of us find homeopathy for the first time is when we have kiddies. And a lot of people go to Facebook groups and ask for advice from random strangers, but somehow, I don't know, our human brain's a little bit funny. Your mother-in-law tells you to try homeopathy, you don't want to, but then, a random stranger on a Facebook group tells you and then you do it, right?
True.
But if you are seeing a mum posting in a Facebook group struggling with a teething baby or, fevers, I see it on a daily basis. Just take a moment, even if you post anonymously, because in Facebook groups, you can, even if you can comment anonymously. Just say in there, try homeopathy. You almost don't need to do anything else. But if you want to, send them to a resource that you trust, a homeopathic resource, but make an effort, even if it's just during World Homeopathy Awareness Week, once a day in a Facebook group, tell a mother to try homeopathy, because that really, you can make such a huge difference that way as well. Any tiny little thing that you can do. And if you do end up rolling that past Homeopathy Awareness Week, that's even better. Like even a once a day, somewhere in your day, mention homeopathy to somebody, because collectively it does make a difference. The energy that we're putting out there collectively during this time, it does feed it and create this momentum.
Exactly, and that was the whole impetus behind World Homeopathy Awareness Week, is this collective energy of all of us doing it at the same time around the world makes a difference. So I want to take your advice and take it one step further. It's going to take a little bit of courage, but not only tell people on Facebook or your friends or your neighbors or your people in your church groups, but tell your doctors. I have so many patients of mine, they say, homeopathy cured me of this, but I don't want to tell my doctor because I'm scared they're going to tell me to stop using it. I'm like, you have autonomy over your body. You don't have to stop using something, but tell your medical professional about the experience you have with homeopathy, because they're not going to listen to us. They're going to listen to patients' experiences. And as scary as that is, if everybody was brave enough, because the World WHO actually did a research study a number of years ago that you're probably aware of. Homeopathy is the second most commonly used alternative medicine in the world, only second to herbal medicine. And they may not all be going to see homeopaths. They may be using stuff over the counter. But we are a big group of people. We are not a small voice. And it's really important for the medical system to see that we have a voice. We are a big group of people. We have a big network of users. And it's time that they took us seriously and gave us a place at the table.
And that doesn't actually even include all the people who use arnica or rescue remedy or things like that. They don't even know that they're using homeopathy. And in fact, maybe against homeopathy, but they're using rescue remedy or arnica, not knowing that it's homeopathy, because there's lots of people like that, right? Whereas if you're taking a herb, you're taking it because you're tasting it. You're taking it, or maybe in a capsule. But yeah, with a lot of people do use homeopathy and don't even know that. But I love that idea. Tell your doctors for sure, because once again, if enough people tell them, hopefully it will plant a little seed.
And I get a lot of referrals from doctors, and the reason they are is from their patients telling them, well, actually, homeopathy helped me with this condition. And if they hear that enough times, when they stuck with treating a condition, or they don't want to give an antibiotic or cortisone or something, then they'll start to think, well, maybe homeopathy could be an option for this patient.
Absolutely. It's never just that, you might just plant a seed, or sometimes it's not that first little seed that takes root, right? It might be a few people planting it, and you might be the first person that planted that seed with that person, or you may be the 10th person. And often we need to hear something, I don't know, there's some statistics, something like 11 times before you take notice of a thing. So you just remember, you might be somewhere in that first 11 times that the person hears it before they take action. So yeah, just plant those seeds for sure. And also speak to your senators and your local government people as well. And I've never done that myself. So I really need to put on my big girl pants and actually go and speak to our local organizations, and on a governmental level.
It's hard. I know. I choose the MAHA people because they're the easy ones. They already converted. We can just share positive stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else that we can do to help you, or the work that you're doing, or anything else that you want to share with us about everything that you're up to over there?
I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm sure I'll think of like 10 things after we get off this call. But I think that's the most important thing is, to be a proactive person in your community. I love this Mary Aspinwall with her homeopathy Facebook group. She always says, don't deprive other people of this knowledge. You don't be stingy with we keep this as a secret. And we kind of hide with it. But we're depriving somebody else of really healing their life and their conditions and becoming a healthy person. So don't hold back. We're not being kind to others to do that. We want to share this information. There's enough homeopaths to go around, enough remedies to go around. Let's share this, And if people aren't receptive to it, it's okay. Just like you said, I loved your seed analogy. And I do think it takes about 11 times. And even if somebody reacts negatively the first time, if they keep hearing it enough, we tend to, as human beings, to trust things that are familiar. The more we hear things, the more we believe that it's true. So
yeah, we're a bit weird like that, but that's 100% true. It really is. And the more you hear it from various different sources, the more it is going to stick. So just talking about it and getting the word out there. Have you got any more fun events coming up? Any more Facebook photos that I can look forward to seeing with you dressed gorgeously and we're hanging out with famous people?
Well, I'm
Well,
sure there will
they
be
should be
more.
lucky hanging out with you.
Thank you. You know, the MAHA people, one thing I do want to mention is they are not necessarily, I know they're part of a political group, but they're not necessarily politically aligned with any one party. They're very idealistic. Their biggest, what they believe most firmly in is health freedom. And they are people. They care about what they put in their bodies, what we put on the earth, what food they give their children, plastics in the environment, having access to natural therapies like homeopathy and chiropractic and acupuncture. These are what makes up the MAHA movement. You know, they're people from across all political spectrums. So it's very important that I put that in context. They're very ideologically driven, and they are very open and receptive to what we have to say. So we need to kind of use this opportunity to try to make a lot of headway. But a lot of exciting things are coming in the future, and I can't wait to share more with you on the future show.
I can tell you know stuff, but you can't say. So I'm really looking forward to hearing a bit more about that.
I can't give it all away in one show.
Gabrielle, for anybody who hasn't listened to episode 159 yet, do you quickly want to tell them about your 2 books as well? And I know you've got a Facebook group and anything else that people, if they want to get in touch with you or want to purchase your books or just, yeah, anything else that you just like promote yourself here a little bit, please, and just tell them how they can get hold of you.
Thank you. So my 2 main books are Live Right for Your Remedy Type, and this is essentially a homeopathic lifestyle guide. And it's a book that I had so much fun writing. You know, for my patients, they would always ask me, is there more that I can do for my health? Like, what should I be eating or exercise, or, you know, what else can I do to support this homeopathic treatment? And it's for those patients that I wrote a book, and it's based on 21 of the most commonly prescribed remedies that I prescribe, and what they can do to really make the most of their homeopathic care. It also has like sections on understanding your children and your partner from a homeopathic perspective, like why do they do those things, and why can't I get myself or son to clean up their room, and why is my sending him so anal about it? It just helps you to have like understanding and compassion. And so it has the parenting piece and the relationship piece. But most of my patients say that it really gives them like a much deeper understanding of them, like helps them to understand why they are those certain ways and why some things are hard to change and what things that they can do to change it. The second book I wrote was actually a collaborative book on homeopathy for infertility. And all these books can be found on my website, homeopathicbook.com. And I just wrote a chapter on homeopathy, and I was so blessed to be included with an amazing group of healers from every different type of modality, from acupuncture to Mayan abdominal massage, like all the kinds of things that you can imagine treating infertility from a holistic perspective. So that was just really beautiful group of women to connect with them. And then I have a lot of courses on whole health now. So if you go to Whole Health Now and look up, get my name, Gabrielle Traub, and there's a lot of free stuff, and I'm doing a lot of stuff for them right now. In fact, next week I'm teaching on homeopathic treatment for whooping cough. And in a few more weeks, I'm teaching on homeopathy for neurodivergence, so kind of autism, ADHD, that kind of whole spectrum. So yeah, it's a really great resource. They have so much information on there. And then I also have a lot of events that I do. So if you go to my website, sandiegohomeopathy.com, and go to the events section, you can check out all the stuff that I'm doing. No photos, though.
Right. So, okay. I'm glad I asked that question because I didn't know that you're teaching all those courses at Whole Health Now. So it's brilliant that you've taken time to teach as well, because I always feel somebody like you that has so much experience and such excellent training where you train in South Africa and all the clinical experience that you then have. And I saw on your website that you said you treated over 2,000 patients, but that's probably way more now. I don't know where, so learning from somebody like you that's been there and done that, I always have a lot of respect for that. So I'm great that you've teamed up with Whole Health Now to put some courses out there. That's brilliant. And I didn't know about your events on your own page. I feel really bad now. I should have gone to have a proper look. So hang on, San Diego Homeopath.
Homeopathy.
Oh, San Diego Homeopathy. Okay, I'm going to go check that out now. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Excellent. Amazing. Events and classes. Oh, look at that. January, February, April. Oh, that's awesome. A autism
I
health
try
summit.
to keep it up to date, but I'm not always so good about that.
You've got a online course on homeopathic remedies for women's health conditions, obstetrics and gynecology, an online webinar. Are you
It's
doing that one?
very, very comprehensive. That's probably the most comprehensive
Wow.
course on obstetrics and gynecology that we have to date. And all my experience working in that obstetrics and gynecology clinic for over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Homeopathy hangout. Ooh, look at that. Fibroids, PCOS, and infertility free cast. Holy moly. Homeopathy for chronic infections using nosodes. Homeopathy for drug-induced schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Holy cow. Oh, and you had your own radio show as well. I forgot about that.
I used to, I haven't kept it up, but you know how
Oh,
it is. I loved it. It was called Vital Force Radio, and I
yeah.
loved it. It was so
Oh,
much fun. I even interviewed Dr. Peter Fisher,
did
the
you?
physician too. Oh, I love him. Yeah, I'm so sad that he passed, but I got to interview some really cool. That was like a highlight of my week, getting to know all these really amazing people and learning so much from them.
When I interviewed Alex Tournier and he was saying about Dr. Fisher really supporting him starting the Homeopathic Research Institute, it's so cool. I would have loved to have met him and yeah, it's very sad. That's very
Yeah, he
cool.
was a real gentleman. Mhm.
Yeah, amazing. Oh my,
These sneaking questions about the royal family, and he would like, no, no.
really? I believe they have got a new physician that also is a homeopath as well. I saw that a little
Correct.
while
Yeah.
ago. Yeah. Gabrielle, is there anything else? I mean, you're so inspirational. I just love listening to you, and I love the energy that you bring to it because it's impossible to not get excited about everything happening in the homeopathy
Oh,
world. Just
it's
just
so
listening to
exciting.
you. Is there
It's
any
so
final message that
exciting.
you want to leave our listeners with?
Um, just it's such a joy to be able to share about homeopathy. It's such a special gift. I mean, and it's something that we have to offer the world. I feel like every single one of us are these messengers that can share with the world this beautiful gift that really honors our innate ability to heal. That's what I love about homeopathy. Like, our bodies are amazing. We have this incredible immune system, but it's not just the immune system. We know that the vital force is so much more than that, right? And with a gentle nudging of homeopathy, we can attain amazing ability to heal and regenerate and feel happiness and joy and vitality. And that's what I want for every person. And what I love about homeopathy is it's not expensive. You don't have to be a millionaire to have this vitality.
Mm,
You can be, a person who has very little and can enjoy good health. And that's something we all deserve to have, is to have good health and good vitality. And that homeopathy makes that possible. I really believe that this is the medicine of the future.
amazing. Do you know what I've said? It's the medicine of the future for ages, but I've changed that now. I now say it's the medicine for now because there's no better time for homeopathy than right this second. Like we've got so much chronic disease happening, turbo supercharged cancers popping up everywhere, people mysteriously passing away, in their 40s, 50s, which we've never seen that before. We've got a completely unprecedented chronic health epidemics around the world, and not just adults, but children, everyone. And there's literally no better time for homeopathy than right now. And the world has never needed homeopathy as much as right now because we are in an absolute mess. So,
What I love about homeopathy is that while it's healing us,
mm,
it also heals the planet because it's such a green medicine, so gentle on the earth. And, what we have in place is not sustainable. We can't keep going like this. We have to shift gear.
and I get extremely excited about it healing the soil as well and our plants and
Mm.
yeah, children, everything else. Gabrielle, it's always a joy to get to speak to you. And even though we don't get to speak that much, I get to see you on your socials now and again and quickly send a message now and again and say hi and just want to let you know that I see what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. And on behalf of the homeopathic community, thank you for the countless hours that you're putting in. All of us around the world are benefiting from it. And also a huge thank you to your family, your beautiful son and your husband, that they allow us to have so much of you, and that, maybe they don't have a choice in the matter. But
Very supportive and very lucky.
thank
Yeah.
you to them as well for giving you the space to be able to do all this incredible work. So huge thank you to your whole
And
family.
thank you to you. What you offer is priceless. Honestly, it just is uplifting and joyful and such a gift to humanity. So thank you for all of
Thanks.
your hard work too.
It's the mutual appreciation club. Thank you, Gabrielle, and go get some sleep. And we all love you so
And I
much.
just want to say to everyone, have fun during World Homeopathy Awareness Week. It's a time for parties and celebration and giving thanks to Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. So everybody enjoy it.
Love it. Thank you so much for ending us up with those beautiful notes. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.